Ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome back, my beautiful people. We're here back at the shop, obviously. But with that said, I told you we're gonna be moving on to doing more videos. So we getting into another one today. This one is actually gonna be more build oriented than shop oriented. I got inspiration to do a Super 2 build, open class, and it is not going to be reverse chassis this time. It's going to be regular setup, but I was trying to find myself a Super 2 chassis the other day that was already, kind of loose. I didn't have to open a kit, and I couldn't find one. I mean, I even went through all my old stuff. I couldn't find one. I found multiples brand new in my parts, but again, I didn't want to just open a chassis and then, not have all the little bits and pieces. And anyways, I thought opening a kit and doing a build with a new 2025 kit with some new parts that I've been collecting will be way better of a video to go about. So I'm going to pan on over doing a Super 2 chassis open class build. That means, well, I'm going about this as I go about it. I'm learning as I go along. I have not done a open class build Super 2 non-reverse chassis yet. So it's not a how-to video, this video, but it's more of a let's see how cool we can make this open class car. And well, thank you guys for following along so far and being such awesome subscribers. And for the ones that haven't subscribed, please do. It's free. I have 70% viewers who are not subscribed. It doesn't cost anything. It's free. Just press the button, please. Even comment. I don't care. Something, you guys are so awesome. You watched a video. You already spend time watching it. Well, press a button. Send a message. Say hello. Anyways, we love you either way, if you subscribe or not. But this channel would be way better if you did. By the way, let's move on to what kit this is. So, like I was saying, 2025 kit has come all the way from the States from when my mom went to the States previously, and she was like, hey, you need any mini 4-wheel drive stuff while I'm here? I'm like, of course. So I sent her a list, and she was actually able to get a couple 2025 kits. One of them being the Year of the Snake. So cool. And this is why I want to use this kit, because it is a white chassis with red parts. The wheels are medium diameter. I'm not going to be using the body, obviously, because of open class. We're going to be using a polycarbonate body. But I have some aftermarket, or not aftermarket, they're still Tamiya, but they're other parts for the Super 2 that are clear. And it's a motor cover, and it's clear red. So that's another reason why I want to use this, because then the motor cover is going to end up being clear red, and with all the cool red and white pieces, plus the parts that will be added. These are mostly all the parts that I will be using to build this open class. I always go about first finding a kit or chassis, something, you know, most of the time I like to start off with a kit because then you got pretty much all the necessary things. If you didn't want to, let's say, do bearings, you have your bushings. If you want to do a budget open class build, then you have a lot of stuff. You know, you have your gear ratio, you have your shaft, you have your drive shaft to make it 4-wheel drive. You got a lot of things. Obviously, it comes in the kit, so you have a ready box stock car that you could transform into a tune class, B-Max car, or open class. So you have a couple different options once you get yourself a kit. I focus mostly on open class for the main reason is I like going fast. And yeah, I don't think I have much other reason than that. I like the speed. The technicality is another main thing about liking open class, and for the reason is you can go easy with the designs. You know, you could cut up the carbon pieces and so forth. You could make them really into looking like a real race car, as I think. But with all this said, I think it's enough talking. I'm going to prop you guys up on my other phone mount here. It's a new mount that is gonna give you a new perspective on building this box stock. So we're gonna build this box stock up together today. And then next video, we will slowly but for surely start to cut up, design first, and then cut up the carbon pieces, slowly install some other bits and pieces. I got bearings, I have a brand new power dash that needs to be broken in. This is a cool one. You guys know how rare this stuff is. I mean, at least I don't find the blue one very often, so pretty rare. Here's another, this is the clear motor cover I was telling you about. I've heard that they crack because of obviously them being clear, but I don't care. Another rare part going on this build, and it's gonna be so cool with all the other red chassis pieces. So let's get to it. I'm gonna prop you guys up, like I said, on this new mount, new angle, and let's get her done. Anyway, this is the new mount. I'm actually digging it. It's gonna be facing sideways, so you get a perspective of me working and seeing exactly what moves I make and how to put together the kit. All right. So we back with the kit. Year of the Snake 2025 New Year's Edition. I know probably some of you out there are gonna be like, why are you opening this up? But you know, I've never been a collector of kits. A lot of you know this already because I've opened up actually quite a few rare kits on this channel. I still have a lot of kits here at the shop that are very rare, and I am selling. Nothing is listed yet because obviously I'm not open as a shop just yet. September is the date or the month I am planning on opening. So I think sometime in September. It's looking like I just want to pick a date in September because by September 1st I will be ready to open the shop. Anyways, maybe you guys can help me pick a date. I was thinking September 13th because I just like the number 13. But getting back to this kit, pretty cool. It has a little racer of a snake, very cool decals. It kind of reminds me of, I don't know if most of you guys know this brand. in Japan called Evil. Kind of reminds me of the Evil lettering. But yeah, it comes with a pretty cool little snake. And just like a lot of the other Animal Racer kits, you know, you just kind of plop it on there. Let's open it up. Dun, dun, dun. And what we got here? We got some gray. They seem like softies. So we got some gray tires. I like the gray. I wish more kits came with gray. It gives more flavor than a black tire. And then you got some nice medium wheels. There you go. Now we got some good light. Sorry about that. Okay, got the wheels. We got the tires. We got ourselves a motor. Gears, pink, brown, and it came with the black gear. It has hardware, the grease, drive shaft, some double-sided tape, your contacts for the batteries, okay, all that stuff needs to be taken out anyways. Here's the body. I don't obviously think I'm going to be using this, so I'm going to keep it in its so-called, you know, package and store it away like I do with a lot of my other hard bodies that I don't use, and possibly will end up selling or just giving to local racers once the community grows here in Greece. And yeah, so that's that. Oh yeah, here we go. The white Super 2 chassis. I think that's so cool. I know it's not the strongest one out of all of them, but it is very, very cool. Let's see here. Does it say? Okay, so it's a PC ABS chassis. So I don't think it's reinforced. It has a good amount of flex to it. But we've built on a white chassis before, and it worked out fine. The car runs great. But the problem of white chassis that a lot of people don't take in consideration is that when you go about doing the carbon fiber work, this is a Super FM. This is a white chassis, or well, it was a white chassis. You can tell that it was actually really white on the inside. Once I started doing the carbon work, you can tell my fingers kind of spread the carbon dust a little bit on the bottom of the chassis and turned it black. So you could probably take this off, but yeah, I didn't want a chance, let's say, damaging the chassis further. But that is an issue that comes along with using a bright chassis, especially white, gray, anything bright colors of that sort. We got ourselves the accessories, the motor cover, all the, you know, the switch, transmission cover. This will be replaced with the clear red. In the end of the day, it's gonna look so cool, and it comes with a locking thing. This clear red comes with this locking thing, so the motor cover won't pop off when the car is jumping. Okay, let's put that part back over here. And last but not least is the little, oh, taped him down good, is the little guy, the snake. The snake racer. Oh yeah. Might not use him, but it's still very cool to have this one. Haha. I'm so corny, what can I say? Alright, so we're gonna place him right there. And lastly is the stickers for that body. I actually might use some of these on the polycarbonate body I want to use. Maybe I'll use some of these stickers just because of how cool the coloring is, and well, I am using the Year of the Snake kit, so I kind of want to, you know, use some. And it also has a really cool Super Chew sticker here. It has a lot of really cool stickers on this one. Anyways, yeah. And that's it. I mean, it does have this in there too, but really don't matter. That's what the kits in general come with, as most of you know. So with the kit disassembled, unpackaged, and now just a box, I'm gonna save this box like I always do for when I open these kits, and use it to store some things. But let's get opening this. Accessories. We gotta clip all of this off, at least all the stuff that we are going to be using. Okay, where are my clippers? Oh, they're right in front of me. You know, that happens. So when you go to clip this, I use the Tamiya ones, but you don't gotta use the Tamiya ones. You can go get yourself some regular ones, but always go and clip close to the part so you can get the least amount of plastic on this part once you pull it off. And try not to just yank the parts off. You can twist off, and you can do, you know, some half-ass way, I guess, but because of how small these cars are, the details really matter, and the excess little pieces of plastic do matter for when everything fits together. So take your time. The more time you take, the more detailed you can get. The more detailed you can get, the better the car will run. So we're gonna move on to clipping off the rest of the parts, and then we'll clean them up. I just don't want to clip anything I'm not supposed to. So sorry, I'm taking a little extra time here. But like I said, a little more time is always welcomed, for the fact being you don't want to rush while doing this hobby slash sport. It is one of those that you need to focus. And especially because this stuff is quite brittle, and if you are rough and tough with it, you won't go too far, honestly. I will undo some of this stuff that I don't even need to, just so I could get it off this tree. And I will put it away. Maybe save it for another car that can be used on, you know? So many little things. I'm really happy this kit came very well put together though. Sometimes when you get these kits, they don't come all like this. They come out, some of the pieces are loose and, you know, they've kind of been pushed around. And yeah, this kit, even though it came all the way from the States, because I'm here in Greece, it really came in amazing condition. And I got to say thank you very much, Mama, for bringing it for me, because yeah, getting Tamiya stuff to Greece is a little difficult, especially with the VAT and shipping. So my only option is to order from Italy, and a lot of the time Italy doesn't get the 2025 stuff when I want to have it. So getting this is a blessing, and thank you so very much for blessing the channel with this kit, Mom. Moving on, we have now all the red accessories for the chassis clipped away. We can go maybe through some of these that I'm actually going to use and take off this little excess stuff that when it was on the tree, you know, you can't really get 100% of it off. So you just take a little X-Acto and slowly just take your scrap off. Even though I'm not going to be using this, since we're doing an open class build, I'm not going to put it to full box stock form. We're going to get this car to the point of having the transmission running, and next video will be more of putting together the car. We might do 3 video part out of this because open class is always a little bit of a pain to do one whole video or even 2 videos. Sometimes it's best to, like building the car, take your time with the videos, you know, expand them out and do every step slowly. So as you guys see in this video, we're just getting the basics done, or you could say getting the groundwork done. So we have a good base, good chassis to start with, good transmission, good pieces of plastic with no scrap on them. You gotta have a good base. If you don't have a good base for your open class car, well, good luck on having a good open class car, you know? You could always build cars with minimal effort, but in the end of the day, why go about doing something, especially something so detailed, when you're only putting your minimal effort in? You know, a lot of you guys go out and race these cars at events and so forth, even put on little shows at your shops, I'm sure you would want the car not to sound like a tractor, but to sound like a nice little sewing machine. And the only way to get that car to sound like that is to remember all the little detailed steps along the way. And that is only gonna happen if you take your time. So we cleaned up all the scrap off of the main pieces, at least all the pieces that we will be using. Alright, and now that's done with, we can move on to assembling the chassis bit by bit with a few upgraded pieces and obviously a few of what we got here. Oh, I skipped clipping these off. I skipped clipping these. So don't be like me and forget what's in front of you. And then with the same thing with the tires, when you go to clip these tires, you want to go as close to the tire as possible, because you don't want to be left with a little bump, a little nipple you could call it, on the tire. So the way I like to go about it is literally not this way. I like to go in the center, because then you're able to fully take off that excess rubber with no issue, and you got no little excess bumps, nothing. You're good to go. We might not use all of these tires. Maybe we will, I'm not too sure. Again, I have in my head planned out the idea of the front bumper system I want to use, and I have planned out in my head the rear bumper system I want to use. Beyond that, it's kind of just going with the flow, like an artist who paints a painting. He's not always planning it out. It just, you create your own vision of what you want your open class to look like, and then you make it function right. It's because I look at this hobby as very artistic, and you're able to express yourself and not just be building a machine. I mean, you can look at that and you could have that outlook on a lot of mechanical things if you want to make them look beautiful and not just a machine. So this is just another step of being able to look at things like that, and instead of just being something functional, you have something that is art in motion, as some people say. Alright, so we're going with the wheels now, clipping these off. Again, you want to get as close to this ridge here so you don't have to take off too much scrap. And again, I like to go as so, because then you can get as flat to the surface as possible. Clip away real fast and easy without having to go back and shave off any extra scrap. Okay, 2 down, 2 to go. The one, the Tamiya clippers, is because they really have like a nice nose to them. They're a bit expensive, but totally worth it. This is actually my second pair. I bought another pair about 2 years ago, and I was using it to cut something I wasn't supposed to, and I actually ended up breaking off one of these cutter pieces and it literally broke in half. And thankfully at the time when I was using it to cut something I wasn't supposed to cut with it, I was wearing safety glasses, and this metal piece, after it broke, went and smacked me in the eye, or would have smacked me in the eye if I wasn't wearing them safety glasses. So to all those out there who love to work with their hands, use safety glasses when you're doing anything heavy duty. Just my opinion. Sometimes safety comes second, but most of the time, nowadays, for me, safety's first. So we're done with the wheels. I usually don't throw this stuff away. If in the end I am just kind of being ignorant that day, I will. But I have a box that I keep all these little trees, because in the end you can cut them up and you could use certain pieces for inlaying it into the MS chassis, for the MS Pro chassis, and then it'll be it makes it more rigid. I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that talking, we're done. With all that clipping, we're done. Now we got all of this, which is great. We got the axles, got the motor, got the shaft. Axle checker. Let's see if these are actually straight. They're not too bad. It dropped in quite decent. How about this next one? Wow. Honestly, they're not that bad for box stock axles. Usually they don't be this straight. Usually they're horrible. And I usually don't use box stock axles on an open class car. But I'm trying to show you guys, you can do an open class car on, you can say, a budget, and use a kit, all the parts from the kit, meaning the 2 axles, your drive shaft, your wheels, chassis, and gear ratio. Oh, obviously you need your contacts for the battery. You have a nice little pinion in here that goes on. We're not going to be using the stock motor, obviously, so let's throw that in the stock motor pile. Yeah, there it is. And what's also cool about the box stock kit is that it comes with these little, come on out, don't fight me, there you go. What's cool about the box stock kits also is that they come with all of this little stuff, and most of it isn't useful, meaning you're gonna use the pinion. Obviously you need the shaft for for the black gear, but I'm gonna change it out to a different gear ratio. But you need this guy, and In the end, since this is becoming an open class car, you have in this kit some washers that can possibly be used. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. And then you have these little gold nipples, I call them. There you go. Yeah. And usually these are really good to use. You can insert them into the body damper of the car. Here. You usually insert it to the body damper of the car. So when the body damper is in full effect, it will stay being, you could say, accurate. It won't be flopping all over the place. And for another reason is that because it's copper, it doesn't wear through and doesn't open up. The hole won't open up. It won't get like a oval. It'll stay circle. And so you open up your holes a little bit on your body damper here and here, and then you insert them, and then you press them down, and then you are ending up with these little guys in here. So the best way to go about it is you take a screw that is a countersunk screw, and when you finally get it inserted into here, you put your countersunk screw from the bottom, you put a washer on the top and a nut, tying it down, and it will flare. It'll flare the bottom of this and open up, and then it'll hold itself in place. No glue required, no extraness required. It's just flared and pressed in. And then once that is done, you can insert it back onto the screws that you have here. 1, 2. And because obviously these screws, they got threads, that's why you usually use the copper, is because the threads, after a while of this movement, after a while of that movement, the threads will eat through the carbon fiber, and it'll make the body damper wiggle left to right. And when you have these coppers, it takes a lot longer for the threads to eat through that copper, and it also keeps the body damper from going left to right. It makes it very, very certain that you're going back to the same location it started from. Blop. And yeah, that is one of the awesome little things that comes in this kit that a lot of the time I gotta order separately when I don't have a kit, because these go very fast. And anyways, when I mean they go very fast, you lose them pretty easy because how small they are, and you can mess up pretty easy when you're flaring it. So take your time flaring them, and just make sure you don't over flare it, because it will then crack. They will crack at the back, and they won't hold in place as firmly as they should be. So let me put this back onto here. This car, this is a car that I don't ever use. I just wanted to show you guys a demonstration of what I was talking about. But this is a Mad Ting chassis. I bought this chassis with my buddy Tony, last time I went to LA. Yeah, good times, good times. Anyways, I'll put this car back together in a little bit when I am not recording. But yeah, that is the situation with these little copper guys, and why it's so awesome that the box stock kit comes with it, and why I wanted to end up using a box stock kit to start with, because you get a lot of good pieces that you can use for open class still, that aren't the most high-end parts, but are still capable of taking beating on open class to a certain extent. And you know, you have yourself a budget open class car with, you know, fun. You're gonna go have fun and not break the bank. So you get yourself a 13 to 20 euro kit. This is what it comes with. And now we're gonna slowly assemble the gears. One gear goes like this, the other goes like this. Oh, you have two gears of the pink, they go opposite of each other. Then you have your drive shaft that you drop in, and that is what makes the Mini 4WD 4WD. This is your drive gear that this ends up sitting right here and spinning your wheels. So with all of this put on here, there's no grease, there's no oil. This is just well, plopped in there as you guys saw. I don't use grease for open class, at least not much. I go about using oil, very, very thin oil, because, or the fact is, when you're breaking in these gears, you want them to heat up and for them to end up meshing very well. If they don't heat up and you have a lot of grease in there or a lot of oil, they won't heat up and they won't start to break in and they won't mesh well. So yeah, that's what I am doing, and that is usually my process of putting together or starting to put together a chassis for open class that I take out of a box stock. I don't really have much else to say other than to go about and now put it together. So I'm going to do a time lapse, and we're going to slowly get this chassis settled so we can get the wheels onto the shafts and get everything together. So for the next video we can move on to cutting parts, installing the cut parts, and putting some design and flavor onto the new build. Hopefully that'll be the next video. Maybe that'll be only half of the next video. So anyways, let's move on to the time lapse. So we got the car built. Got the clear motor cover on there. Everything is together. I got the power dash in here. It's not broken in, but I just got everything together as I would if I, let's say, was getting the car ready to start building for an open class. This is not obviously a full ready car. It's missing its rollers, it's missing the rear bumper, it's missing the body, but we got together the main drivetrain. Got the rear motor, a new rear motor cover on, like I said. All the cool parts are on here that came off the box stock of the wheels, tires, the red components. So I installed aftermarket wheel bearings, and other than the motor, wheel bearings, and the motor cover, it's pretty much a box stock, ready to go to turn into an open class. So it sounds pretty smooth, feels very smooth. So we are on the way for Super 2 open class. If you guys stayed along this way until now, I thank you greatly. And if you guys are interested in the next upcoming video, you know when I'm going to drop it. Every Tuesday and Saturday, I will be posting videos and going about the same process as I have been. I've been very inspired and driven lately, so we're gonna keep going with this good positivity. So thank you again for tuning in and watching me put together the start of the next open class build. It's looking pretty cool. I like the colors. Got into Super 2 very much, so this is kind of a new area for me. The only Super 2 that I've gotten into was a reverse Super 2 chassis. So I made the rear, or the front, the rear, you get me? Yeah, so this is a CNC cut Super 2 chassis also that I did not do. I purchased it from a friend in the States, and it came with 2 chassis, an orange that I made into a high-speed car that I don't use. I keep it as a remembrance, kind of like a display. And then I had this guy. I turned him into a reverse Super 2 chassis with this very interesting body damper setup that goes all the way to the back. Yeah. Anyways, there is a video of this car if you're interested on my channel, so you could go scroll back and look up. It's reverse Super 2. It's very easy to find, obviously, because of the colors. But again, thank you all for sticking around and hanging out. The one thing I did not get installed, which really doesn't need to be installed yet, is this guy. Once I get more things installed on the chassis, I get the motor broken in and stuff, I'll get more aftermarket components obviously put on, and the next video will dive into that. So thank you again for sticking around. Again, the subscription or subscribe button is free. The comment section is free. It really helps with the algorithm, and it just shows that you guys are still interested in what we're doing. And please comment and let us know what you might like to see in the future videos or projects. So Again, thank you for tuning in, and God bless to you guys. Bye.